Good morning, everybody. This morning I want to have a quick chat around some project examples. Now, previously I made a video on the characteristics of projects and also having a quick look at the definition of a project. That's really not the aim of today. Today I want to just have a look at some project examples, and then I want to take one project and sort of go through that and take a look at that in terms of what is a project and what kind of mindset do you have when you're managing projects and what kind of things do you think about. So this is a general high-level overview video, just to make awareness of projects, types of projects, and then the mindset of or the approach towards projects and project management. Good. So just a quick look at the definition again. Project is an ad hoc set of activities with logical relationships that are executed by a specific team to satisfy a specific goal by means of a once-off product, service, or capability within a planned performance and time, cost targets or constraints. Now, like I said, I've went through this definition in quite a detail with another video, but just keep those in mind as we continue going forward. So what are we talking about if we talk about projects? We are supplying, contracting, building, designing a product, service, or capability. Now remember, a project doesn't need to be something physical or hard, something that you can build or see or work on. It can be something soft like a IT program or a process design or whatever. So in that process, construction. Now construction is always the nicest one to talk about or to show, because construction is something that you can physically see. So I always say when you drive around, kids are sitting at the back, you say, "Daddy, what's a project?" You can drive around saying, "See that thing that goes up there? That's a project." It's something physical that you can see that they can build. So lots of those big high-level capital projects, lots of money being spent on those. Then it does not have to be something new. It could be an extension or an upgrade to something, maybe some railway system or even something small like a house or something that you need to just improve what you've already have. And that's a project. Maybe redesign or build a new road or extension of a road that you have. Then we talk about project development, new and upgrade. Again, we talk about the two sides, new and upgrade. The small electronic world are full of those. Now they've got all these new versions of the previous, let's call it an iPhone or a cell phone or a computer or a laptop that comes out that they need to improve and make better. And to do that is a project. The car industry, I drive a Isuzu. The new Isuzu is just, I think it's coming out next year, early next year. It's just nice to see the growth in product over time in terms of that. And it's all backed up by revenue increase and, supply of the latest technology to keep people on buying. Now, that's projects, a sort of investment, capital investment towards that. Okay, so, but it's also, if you walk around in the shops, retail, you see every now and then you'll see the same brands that you always buy, but with different packages or different bottles or different even logos or just advertising on that. And those are all driven by projects at the back end. Good. Then we talk about sort of the projects that you don't see, maybe see physically as it continue going on, process design and development, business re-engineering, business process re-engineering, those kinds of processes and stuff that you have in place in your organization to make things work better. And these are projects. They are seriously driven projects by all the technical and I want to say theoretical backing up by project management in these projects. And also sort of hand in hand goes to these are maybe your software design, your software process design, and those kinds of projects. Good. And then we talk about some disaster recovery projects, and I'm going to actually come back to this in the example that I'm going to do, where I'm going to take a look at a project and say, but what should you not do in a project to, in a case like this, actually save lives? Now, so, interesting types of projects, maybe the scope, maybe you've got a project plan in place already. It sits there for if something bad happened, you know what to do. You can actually react quite quick in terms of that. Good. Then we talk about music concerts and events. big, huge projects, interesting types of projects, because you've got a long lead up, a long planning, long scoping, long rolling out first levels, first phases of projects, buying tickets, getting the people to go there, advertising, and then the actual execution of the concert is very, very short. If you think about a concert, 2 hours max, 3 hours max. So you don't have any chance to go over anything. You need to react and jump quite quickly when you are there. We talk about rugby, we talk about football, we talk about the Olympics, those kind of projects. Now, lots of things that needs to tap into one to finish the project. And then maybe some other types of events, maybe weddings, those kind of stuff, also the same type of category of projects. Good. So now what I want to talk about is I want to take one example of a project. And this is an interesting type of project. It's not something that you probably thought I will talk about, but it's sort of in the disaster recovery category of projects. And we all remember the Chilean mine rescue in 2010, where there was 33 miners that was trapped 700 meters below the ground. They didn't know if they were alive or not. They know they were there. They were missing them. And the government made a commitment. They said they'll get them all out. Whether it's dead or alive, at that moment they didn't know if they were alive or dead. So the process that they actually follow is they had this small Reamer machine. It's about 150 millimeters diameter. And they actually went and did trial pits. They went and they drilled all through the sort of the unstable ground where they were trapped in that environment. They knew that if the miners followed protocol, they would have gone to there's a safety area within the mine 700 meters below the ground. So they were sort of targeting that area, looking around that area. And I think it was about 16 days after that, after they've started, they made contact with them by drilling very close to where they were, and the miners could actually make contact. They put some letters and stuff on, and they bang against the drill bits, and they knew they were there. So what they did then in reaction to that, there was actually 3 plans that were working together. We talk about risk management now, but I'm not going to focus too much on the other plans. But one of the plans was to take a 600 millimeter Reamer machine, again, drill the 700 meters through to them, try to make the area as stable as possible, and then one by one in a rescue capsule take them out. And that's what they actually did. So I have some photos here. There's a photo of the sort of the mine area with the camps where they were. Probably in our case, we'll call that, a project head offices or project offices, but it's probably more, just the head office where they sort of made all the decisions and worked from. You can see very unstable environment in the desert. There's just some of the equipment that they use. Remember, guys, they had to use everything from a distance, very cautious on everything that they do. And this is sort of one of the points that I want to make. If you approach a project wrong, I mean, if you take maybe the vibrations of a machine going to site could almost trigger another cave-in, which could have devastating effects at the end of the day. So from this moment onwards, from the moment which they knew they were alive, the main mission or the goal of the project was to get them out alive. No, and so that's why they had all these cranes and this equipment to do that from a distance and to make minimum vibrations as they continue going on. There's some photos of the actual inside of the mine. These are the miners, some of the 33 guys. There's the moment in which they actually came through on the first rescue capsule came through. And obviously then what they did is they start loading the guys one by one into the rescue capsule and took them out. 700 meters, guys. It's quite an intense process to imagine sitting in that little capsule going up here 700 meters, and a caving can happen anytime you're sitting in a little capsule like that. Very, very interesting. Anyway, guys, so I want to finish up with this one. I want to say these are the 53 guys that were saved. There's just another photo of them, and this is the real photo that I want to focus on. This photo over here, very interesting. If I'm in class, I would always ask, what is the guy saying here? And this is probably, I would say it's the mine captain that came out, the guy that was there last. They were there for 66 days. Now, so it's quite it was a long process. So what is this person doing? He's saying success. He goes first in there, he says success, we've made it, we're alive, we're out. And I'm sure you would could go around and say who's the project team behind them, saying, listen, we've made it, we got these guys out safe. The project is a success. So why I'm talking about this project is a few things I just want to take away from this. Number one, what is the goal of the project? Remember, the goal of the project firstly was to get them out, alive or dead, because I didn't know if they were alive or dead. Once they knew they were alive, the project goal changed to getting them out alive. And that's why it took them 66 days to leave them in there to say, but listen, we're not in a hurry. We can give them food. We can give them water. We can try to keep them sane. But we want to get them out alive at the end of the day. And how a little word like alive can change the total project approach that you need to take. Now, because, I mean, if your goal is to get them out, whether they are alive or not, I can get the biggest machine. I can get them out there in probably a day or two. But obviously the important part of the project won't be true then. So the first thing that I say is alive. Get them out alive. Very, very important. And then just do a cautious approach in terms of the way you plan and execute. And if I want to go back to those photos that I had over here from the disaster recovery, you can think that if you approach areas like this incorrectly, that you can actually do more harm than good. So if you think about these guys working here, if they just start with a jackhammer and start, there could be people below this slab or whatever that's alive that they could actually get out. But if they approach it wrong or too quickly or too, to be too over excited about this process, they can actually do more harm. And that is sort of one big part of a project that's very important, is to go back, sit back, hold back your horses. Go from the beginning. What's the goal of the project? What's the objectives? And then take the objectives to cautiously and calmly plan out the project, scope the project, plan out the project, so that when you are starting to execute, you are executing correct and you are executing as quick, as cheap, as best as possible as you can. So this is the takeaways that I want to have today. Like I said, I'm not going to jump too deep into the definition, characteristics, even the project management approaches. I just want to make you all aware of what is a project, what it entails, and then also saying, but listen, what are the main things that a project brings, the kind of thought chain, the kind of thoughts that you have when you are dealing with a project. So I hope I've added some value, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you, man.